So we have seen different modes excitation for waveguide, especially for the rectangular waveguide. What are the different wave impedances? How this propagation will exist for a waveguide depending upon the dimension of the waveguide. Okay, so all those things we have been seen till now. Now, so how to have this wave propagation inside the waveguide if some load is connected with the waveguide. So as we have seen for the transmission line, that depending upon the load we can have the power transmission, right? Depending upon the load we can have the power transmission. So if the load is matched with the source, then we can have the maximum power transfer, the same concept. So depending upon this load, so how to analyze whether there is certain reflection exists within the waveguide or not. So if it is a waveguide, let us consider a straight rectangular waveguide where one side we have given the signal and the side we are expecting that some output should be observed. Now if there are more than one input source been connected to a waveguide from a different waveguide, let us consider we are having different junctions, we are having different dividers, we are having different path from one source to many load, from many load to one source. So how to analyze for this special kind of waveguides where more than two ports are exist. Ports in the sense one port is taken as a source, another port from where we are taking the output, that is load is connected. So that analysis is carried upon the concept known as S-matrix analysis. So we need to go with the S-matrix formation for a waveguide. So what is this S-matrix? So till now we have seen different parameters for network analysis like impedance parameters, admittance parameters, H parameters, ABCD parameters, right? So we are having different kinds of parameter to analyze a network. So for that case, these networks are specially two-port networks. Either it is Z, Y or hybrid parameter or transportation parameter, that is ABCD parameter. So now these network analysis techniques are used for a network when it is used for a low frequency applications. Let us consider we are having a network on which we have our source connected from where the voltage is given to the some black box. In the black box some system has been connected. In the other side of the black box we are having certain load connected. So on this, if we need to have this voltage and current ratio in the two different sides of this black box, we can easily find out the Z parameter or Y parameter. Same, depending upon this voltage and current we can find out hybrid parameter as well as ABCD parameter. So for these cases where we have used this Z, Y or H, either it is Z, Y, H or ABCD parameter, all of them has this analysis relate to the network which are used for low frequency application. Low frequency application. Let us consider these are used for our household purposes, where the frequency is only 50 Hz. Okay, so the wavelength is quite longer compared to the circuit dimension. Now when we are shifting to high frequency application where the wavelength is quite comparable with the component size, so for that case these parameters are not sufficient for analysis. We need to go with a special kind of parameter known as S-matrix or S parameter. They are used for high frequency applications. A network when have the application on high frequency sources connected with high frequency sources or high frequency load, for that case we need to go with this S matrix. This S is known as scattering matrix. S symbolizes scattering. So from the word itself you got the hint that the waves are getting scattered in different direction while we are operating with high frequency signals. So depending upon this scattering of the signals, how this signal transmission occurs in this rectangular waveguide, especially for this case it is applicable for any kind of waveguide, though we have our discussion only on the rectangular waveguide. So we can say while it has been having the propagation inside this rectangular waveguide, so due to the imperfection within that waveguide, whether there is any scattering occur or not, so if that scattering occur, then what are those parameters we need to take into consideration to have this scattering into our calculation. Okay, so obviously you can say that this scattering matrix is used for high frequency applications only. And another thing is also there, for this low frequency application we are having the source, we can say we have connected either a voltage source or a current source for all those four parameters. But when we have been talking about this high frequency applications, we never said that we are having this voltage, current or electric field or magnetic field. We are saying that EM wave is get propagated. So EM wave as a whole is taking into consideration of power, rather voltage or current. EM, electric and magnetic, that is voltage and current. So as a whole we are dealing with power. So this S matrix or S parameters are dealt with power, rather voltage or current isolately. So this is a matrix which we need to consider for any high frequency application. Either it is a two-port network, either it is a multi-port network. So we can define this S matrix something like this. It is a square matrix. It is a square matrix which gives all the combination of power relationship between the various inputs and outputs port, output port, input and output ports of a microwave junction The element of this matrix are called scattering coefficient or scattering parameter. Okay, so when we are having some microwave junction which is consisting of more than two ports, we need to take into consideration of this scattering coefficients or scattering parameters to have the analysis of power been transferred from source towards the load. Now let us consider a network which is having a source been connected here. A source is connected. So from this source different loads are being connected. What does it mean? This source will serve for the different loads. One load, another load, and in this way we can have some other loads. Okay, so let us consider this is our first line. This is the first line. Some load is connected, ZL for each of the cases. It is your first line. This is your second line, and in this way let us consider this is your nth line. Okay, so this is the source and all those loads are been connected. Okay, so from this source we are having this signal been going to these loads. Let us consider this one is A1, this one is A2, this one is AN. Now for some reason, if there is certain mismatch with this source from the load, so there will be certain reflection been coming from this load. So let us consider this is your B1 reflected part, this is your B2 reflected part, this is your Bn reflected part, and as a whole we are having this reflected signal in the source Bi. Okay, so what we are considering a junction of n number of transmission line where the ith line, what is this I? This I can be any line from 1 to n, any line. So any line can serve as a source, any line can serve as a load, is terminated in a source. So let us take different case. Case 1. So let the first line be terminated in an impedance other than characteristic impedance. That is ZL naught is equals to Z naught, and all the remaining lines that is from second line to nth line in an impedance is equals to Z naught. Equal to Z naught. Now if this AI be the incident wave at the junction, be the incident wave at the junction. So where is the junction? This is the junction. Incident wave at the junction due to a source at the ith line. The source at this ith line, then it divides itself among n minus 1 number of line lines as A1, A2 dot dot AN. So this signal at the ith line will divide itself due to this lines being connected at the junction. There will be no reflection from second to ith line, and the incident wave are absorbed since ZL is equals to Z0. But there is a mismatch in the first line. Is a mismatch at the first line, and hence there will be reflected wave B1. So due to this mismatch, we are having this reflected wave B1 being generated from this line. Okay, so B1, therefore B1 is related to A1 by, so what is this B1? B1 is a reflected wave, so obviously it's supposed to be a fraction of A1, some part of A1 incoming signal, right? So we can write this B1 is equals to reflection coefficient into A1. Coefficient into A1, or B1 can be written as SI1 A1. So what is this I indicates? That source is connected to this ith line and reflection is from the first line. So on this network where the transmission lines are there, they are from 1 to n. So among them one line is serves as a source. So when this source is been given to that line, due to mismatch from any one of the line, there will be certain reflection. So that reflected signal is related to the incoming signal like this. So this reflected signal B1 is some fraction or some portion of this incoming signal A1. So what is this signal indicates? It says that this suffix indicates that the first value in the suffix indicates the source is connected to which line. Second number indicates that from which line the reflection is coming back to the source. Okay, so if it is S21, let us consider this I is 2, so we are saying that the source is connected to the second line and reflection is coming from the first line. So this SI1 is the reflection coefficient of the first line. Of the first line. So one indicating reflection from first line, and I indicate source connected to ith line. Okay, so hence we can say the contribution to the outward travelling wave in the ith line is outward travelling wave, the contribution in the outward travelling wave. So the wave which have been travelled outward, that is the travelling wave, the waves which have been travelled in the load through this transmission line from the source. So this outward travelling waves which have been having the source, for this case it has been connected in the ith line. So this contribution can be written as Bi, that is the total reflected back signal, that is Si1 into A1. Since B2, sorry, this one is B1, B2 is equals to B3 is equals to up to Bn are 0, right? So this is the contribution, outward travelling wave contribution in the ith line, because this B1 is the reflected signal been coming to the source again. So if this is the signal been given to the first line, this is the B1 is the signal been coming back to the junction again. Okay, so from this we can say, yes, this is the contribution to the total outward travelling wave. Now let us take another case, case 2. Let all the n-1 lines be terminated, n-1 lines. So other than this first line, let us consider terminated in an impedance other than Z0. Let us consider all the n-1 lines. So first line previously we have considered been terminated in a load which is different than the characteristic impedance. Now all the n-1 lines, because one of the line will be given to the source, so all the n-1 lines are terminated in an impedance other than Z0, that is ZL0 is equals to Z0. Then what will happen? There will be reflection from each of the lines to the junction. Then there will be reflection into the junction from every line, and hence total contribution to the outward travelling wave in the ith line. That is Bi. This I can be any line. So Bi will be Si1 A1 plus Si2 A2, in this way, plus Sin An. So what does it mean? I serves as the source, this ith line where the source is connected, and from each of the other lines from 1 to n the reflection is coming back. Okay, now if we particularly consider that first line is given as the source, on the first line the source is connected, so we can write this B1 is equals to S11 A1 S12 A2 dot dot plus S1n AN, right? Next, there may be another case where second line is given as a source, so we can write S21A1, S22A2 like this, S2NAN. In this way, if nth line is given as a source, so we can say SN1A1, SN2A2 plus SNNAN. So in this way, for this case, first line the source is connected, first line connected with source. This second equation says that second line connected with source. This one says nth line connected with source. Okay. So in a matrix form as a whole, we can write in matrix form, we can write B1 B2 dot dot Bn is S11 S12 dot dot S1n, S21 S22 dot dot S2n. In this way, Sn1 Sn2 Snn, and this column matrix will say that input has been connected to these lines. So this is a column matrix. It corresponds to the reflected wave. Reflected wave or output. This is known as scattering matrix. Scattering matrix S of order n by 1, n by n. This one corresponds to the input waves or input. Okay. So this is what the S matrix formation is, like this. Okay. So depending upon the reflection, we can have this kind of parameters on the matrix. Okay. Now each of these parameters is having different meaning. So if we consider S11, what does it mean? The source is given to the line 1 and the reflection is coming from the same line. Okay. So the line where the source is connected, the reflection is there. That is S11. S12, it is known as, or for this S12 we can say source is connected to first line and the reflection is coming from the second line. Okay. So this S11, S22 or dot dot SNN, they are known as return loss. They are known as return loss. So what does it mean? Let us consider the source is connected in the same port 1. So from that port, after traveling some distance, again the reflection is coming back to the same port. From this port itself, the port where the source is connected, from that port, due to that port itself, the reflection occurs. This S12, S21, S13, S14, whatever it is, or S1n, they are known as transmission coefficient or insertion loss. Insertion loss means while it has been traveling from one port to another port, how much reflection is coming back to the source again. They are known as transmission loss or insertion loss. While having the transmission, how much reflection has been coming to the source from another load. Okay, so we'll see. So let us see some properties of this S matrix. So first property, S matrix is always a square matrix. Square matrix of order n by n. Second property, it is always a symmetric matrix. What does it mean? That is Sij is equals to Sji. If S12 is equals to S21, then it is known as symmetric matrix. It is having the property of unitary matrix. That is, if we are taking the S matrix and multiplying with the conjugate of this, we are having the identity matrix. So this one is the complex conjugate of S. Then fourth property is like this. This is very important property. The sum of the products of each term of any row or column multiplied by the complex conjugate of the corresponding term of any other row or column is 0. The sum of the products of each term of any row, the sum of the products of each term of any row multiplied by the complex conjugate of the corresponding terms of any other row or column is 0. That is, summation of I is equals to 1 to n Sik multiplied by Sij conjugate is equals to 0, where this k naught is equals to j. K is 1, 2, 3 up to n, same j is 1, 2, 3 up to n. So the sum of the product of each term of any row or column. So let us consider, if this is our S matrix, so sum of the product of each term of any row. Let us consider this first row. Each term, if we consider, multiplied by the complex conjugate of the corresponding term of any other row, multiplied by the corresponding terms of complex conjugate of the corresponding terms of any other row. Let us consider we are taking the complex conjugate of this row. We are having this row first, Next, if we take the complex conjugate of this row and multiplying term by term and taking the addition, that is S11 multiplied with S21 conjugate, S12 multiplied with S22 conjugate. In this way, if we take the multiplication and add them, it will result into null, that is 0. So we'll see how. Fifth property, if any of the terminal or reference plane, let us consider, say, kth port are moved away from the junction by some length, electrical length, that is considered beta k lk, some theta electrical length, it has been moved. Some port from the junction is moved by a distance of beta k lk, that is theta k, theta is the electrical length. Then each of the Sij, each of the parameters, S parameters of that kth port involving k will be multiplied by e to the power minus j beta k lk. Each of the term, that is S parameters, will be multiplied by this term e to the power minus j beta k lk. Now let us take our first microwave device, that is T junction. Most probably you have seen this thing in your lab class also. So let us first start with microwave T junctions. So what is this T junction? It is an intersection of the three waveguides in the form of English alphabet T. Okay, so first T junction is known as H plane T. T junction. Okay, I'm just drawing this one first. This is port 3, this is port 1, this port 2. This dimension is your A, this dimension is B, same here also. It is your B. These two arms are known as collinear arms, sorry, coplanar arms. You can also say collinear arms, no problem. This line, it is known as plane of symmetry. Okay, this arm, it is the H arm or side arm. Okay, so this is the incoming signal and they are get divided into two arms. So this one will be connected at the middle of this waveguide. Okay, it becomes little bit at that side, it will be not like this, it will be at the middle of this waveguide. Okay, so this H plane T is formed by, I am just writing like this, it is formed by cutting a rectangular slot along the width of a main waveguide, and we have cut a slot along this main waveguide and attaching another waveguide, that is the side arm called H arm. It is so called because the axis of the side arm is parallel to the plane of main transmission line. It is parallel to the plane of main transmission line. This is the plane. It is parallel to that. Okay. So we are having this 3 port. It is the main waveguide. On this waveguide, along this width, we have cut a slot and attached another waveguide, which is known as H arm. Okay. Now we need to find out what are the different S parameters exist for this 3 port microwave T junction, that is H plane T junction. So obviously it is having 3 ports, so our S matrix will be 3 by 3, right? Determination of S parameters. So this S matrix will be like this. It is 3 by 3, S11, S12, S13, S21, S22, S23, S31, S32 and S33. So this will be the parameters exist inside this S matrix. So we need to find out different value of this S parameters. So we need to go with different properties. We need to apply all those properties, and we need to find out whether the properties are get satisfied for the different conditions been exist on this structure. First thing, because of the plane of symmetry, because whatever we seen from this port 1 and something going to port 3, same thing if we have been given from this port 2 and going into port 3. Okay, so we can say because of plane of symmetry, we can say S13 is equals to S of 23. So what does it mean? When the source is given to port 1, whatever the output has been taken from this port 3, it is same as the source has been connected to port 2 and taken from this port 3 because of the symmetry. So you just consider that this one is been connected at the exactly middle of this main waveguide. Next, due to the symmetry property, that is Sij is equals to Sji. So this plane of symmetry, this may not exist for another device. Here it exists for this H plane T, but this symmetry property is always exist for any micro device with any number of ports. So what does it mean? S12 is equals to S21, S23 is equals to S of 32, which is again S of 13. S of 23 is equals to S of 13, and S of 13 is equals to S of 31. Now this port 3 is perfectly matched. This port 3, it is perfectly matched. So what does it mean? If source has been connected to this port is perfectly matched to the source. That is, this port impedance is same as the source impedance. So there will be no reflection within the source due to this port. That is, S33 is completely zero. This port where the source should be connected, for any reason, if this source has been given to this port 3, then this port is completely matched to the source. So we can say, since port 3, it has been taken something like that these arms, either this H arm or E arm, they are perfectly matched to the source or perfectly matched to the junction, is perfectly matched to the junction. That is, S33 is 0, means source is connected to this port as well as the reflection from this port. So obviously, since it has been matched, so there will be no reflection. So finally, using all those characteristics, all those properties, what will be our S matrix from this one? So what we can write? S11, S12, S13, S21 is same as S of 12, S of 22 is there, S of 23, it is same as S of 13. Again S of 31, S of 31 is same as S of 13. S of 32, it is same as again S of 13, and S of 33 is 0. Now we are applying our fourth property, that is unitary property. From the unitary property, we are having S matrix multiplied with S conjugate, it is same as the 1 or identity matrix. That is, this matrix S11, S12, S13, S of 12, S of 22, 13, S of 13, S of 130. If we multiply with the complex conjugate of this matrix, that is S11 conjugate, S12 conjugate, S13 conjugate, S of 12 conjugate, 22 conjugate, 13 conjugate, it is same as the unit matrix, that is 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. Now we need to consider different rows and arms and compare with this right hand side. So if we first take this row 1 and column 1, R1 C1, so what will happen? So S11 will be multiplied with S11 conjugate, S12 will be multiplied with S12 conjugate, S13 will be multiplied with this S13 conjugate. So this one will become S11 S11 conjugate plus S12 S12 conjugate plus S13 S13 conjugate is equals to 1. So this one will be mod of S11 square mod of S12 square mod of S13 square is equals to 1. Let us take equation 1. Same if you take R2 C2, that one will become this one into this. So mod of S12 conjugate plus S12 square plus S22 square plus S of 13 square is equals to 1. If you take R3 C3, R3 C3, so it will be mod of S13 square plus mod of S13 square is equals to 1. Let us take any other combination, that is, let us take R3 C1, this R3 C1. So this one will be S13 multiplied with S11 conjugate plus S13 multiplied with this S12 conjugate is equals to 0. So we need to solve all these equations to find out the value of these parameters. So if we take, within 5 minutes I will complete. So from equation number 3, so obviously S13 is 1 by root 2. From equation 3, we are having S13 is equals to 1 by root 2. It is the first value. Comparing equation 1 and 2. What we can have, if we compare these two, this one will get cancelled. So we can write this S13 and S12 will get cancelled. So we can write mod of S11 square is equals to mod of S22 square, or we can write S11 is equals to S22. Let us give equation number 5. In equation 4, if we have been going with this equation 4, since S13 cannot be 0, we can take S11 conjugate plus S12 conjugate is equals to 0, or S11 conjugate is equals to minus of S12 conjugate, or we can say S11 is equals to minus of S12, that is S12 is equals to minus of S11. Either of this we can use. Now from equation 1, from this equation, we are having S13. So if we put S13, then we can write mod of S11 square plus mod of S12 square is equals to, plus half is equals to 1. So this S11 is equals to minus of S12. So minus of S12 is same as S11. So we can write 2 of mod of S11 square is equals to half. So we can write S11 is equals to half, same S12 is equals to minus half, because S11 is equals to minus of S12.
Sir,
Yes? Yes?
sir, we have class now.
Yes, within 5 minutes I will complete.
Sir, we have another class.
Yes, I know. Within 5 minutes I will complete. These parameters I will find, only this much. You are having lab right now, so I will complete. From equation 5. Okay, 5 minutes I will complete. From equation 5, if we take this equation 5, so that one will tell us that S12 is equals to S22 is equals to half. So all those things we have already derived. So in the next class we will see the complete S matrix. Okay.